He said, it's only $100 for the table and there's going to be like 5,000 people there. And I said, great. How will you get them to stop at your table? He kind of gave me a quizzical look, and we had to move on with the conversation. Hi, my name is J Loren Norris, and you're watching the Leading Leaders podcast. And I had a chance to begin a new client relationship this weekend. This week I drove to Austin and met with my client for the first time, and we had a great conversation. When he talked about his launch into his new business, his post-retirement business, it's not something he's new at. It's just a new business plan, a new strategy. And like many of us leading, he has skill sets and ideas and knowledge and wisdom that he has applied in all kinds of other jobs that he just hasn't yet translated into this new identity, this new role, this new way of making money and sustaining his business. And so part of what my job as a leadership and communications coach with a background in marketing and sales is to do for him is to help him understand what is the finite conversation you need to be having to acquire new clients. You've got to get their attention. You've got to target the right people. You've got to. And so I use this visual illustration. And in this visual illustration, I said, imagine that you have a harpoon gun. You're spearfishing. And so you've got only seconds as that target, as that fish swims by, to aim and to decide, is that the one I want to hit? Is it worth taking? Is it big enough? Is there going to be enough food from that? Or is it going to be a trophy? Do I want to mount that one? When you make that series of assessments, you've only got minutes. Is that a carp or is that a whale? Is that a catfish or is that the exact halibut I want to take? And out of 5,000 people, you only have so much time that even if you target that one, you pick that one, you fire. How then do you get them to your table? How do you begin to have that conversation? How do you begin to engage them in a way that what you're saying, what you're doing, what you're offering is enticing to them? See, as leaders, we have exactly the same problem. We send out those signals, those offers, those cues. Come this way. Do it like this. Now, generally speaking, today's leaders don't look like the general on the battlefield. Forward hold! It doesn't look like that in the same way. Unless, of course, you're in the military and in combat, and then you might be literally pointing people toward the battle to charge in. But for many of us, leadership looks like running a business. It looks like leading a family. It looks like the relationships that you have on a daily basis. And each of those relationships requires something of you. It requires that you engage people with what interests them. You've got to have the bait. You've got to put something out there that's attractive. Now, at an expo, you might put chocolate on the table. Everybody likes chocolate. Everybody's going to come by. But is it chocolate that you want to give them? Because everybody likes chocolate. That doesn't mean that everybody who likes chocolate is your target customer. If you're leading and what you're baiting people who you would like to follow you with is something that anybody would want, are you leading the people that you're responsible for leading? Are you influencing the people that you are called to influence, or are you just leading anybody who will come? See, I know that there are people who watch this video on a regular basis. There are people who call me and say, hey, I didn't get the last email. Did you knock me off the list, or did I do something wrong, or why didn't I get my video? And then there are probably millions, 7 billion people on the earth right now who don't even know I exist. And that's okay. I couldn't lead them all anyway. But for the 20 or 30 who actually watch the video on a regular basis or engage with it or share it with somebody else, and the 200 or 300 that watch it over the next 24 hours, that's an audience that I choose to engage with, people whose lives I intend to influence. And I realize there are people who watch the video the first time and go, this guy's nuts. I got no interest in hearing him again. I know everything that he says, said, or is about to say, and I don't care. That's great. Those are probably not people I could influence very much anyway. And that's fine. But the bait that you put out there is going to be directly related to the type of people that you end up leading, the type of clients that you end up acquiring. Now that you've acquired them, though, how will you keep their attention? How will you lead them to the next level to accomplish something? That's a tough question, and it's something you've got to be ever vigilant about. I'm J Loren Norris, and you've been watching the Leading Leaders Podcast on Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.